Good morning, Facebook family and friends. Thanks for joining us today on Mx3. Glad you could be with us today. And we had a fantastic Sunday yesterday in worship, Pastor Jake. What were some of the highlights?
We did, another high number of members blessed. We had 240 in attendance,
Wow.
which was phenomenal. We had just a great worship service. Pastor, you just did phenomenal in your message as always. It was a great time. Just really excited to see all of our fellowship and church growth like that.
Well, we had a week off from Awana the week before, and the kids regathered last night, and Area 51 regathered, our student ministry, and I understand you had a great night at Area 51 too.
Oh yeah, love to brag on what happened last night at Area 51. We introduced something called Area 51 Initials, which is where we identify students that are friends of students, peers, family, loved ones that they want to see one for Christ. And so we have 27 initials identified.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 students committed to be all in their relationship with Jesus versus lukewarm. And we have 2 professions of faith, which was awesome. Yeah, it's a great night. Looking forward to seeing how it continues to grow.
That's a great student night.
It was.
Take that every week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yesterday in our journey through Romans, we finished up chapter 11, which is the end of the main doctrinal section, chapters 1 through 11. And Jake, let's talk about the takeaways.
Yeah, our first one was God's glory in His sovereignty. And you discussed verses 25 and 26.
Right, and so the main takeaway from those verses is that we should marvel in the intricacy and the specificity and the careful timing of God's plan of salvation. Everybody's salvation story is really cool and unique, and I'm a theology guy, and so I really enjoy talking about that, but I think sometimes we get so caught up in trying to be right about theology that we lose the marvel and we lose the wonder in each person's salvation story, how God called them. There's only one gospel, and there's only one way to Jesus, but we need to glory in the sovereignty of God in each individual salvation story.
Yeah, very good. Our second takeaway was God's glory in His integrity, where you focused on verses 26b through 29.
That means that we can trust God to do what's right in how He chooses to grant salvation. A major doctrine that we often overlook is that God is going to get glory in His dealing with sin, period. He gets glory when sinners are forgiven. He gets glory when sin is forgiven. But He also gets glory when sin is punished. And that's the justice of God. And it's part of the intrinsic glory of God. And it's not fun to talk about, but it is true and it's accurate, is that God gets glory when sin is punished just as much as He does when it's forgiven.
Absolutely. It's awesome. Third takeaway, God's glory in His generosity. You focused on verses 30 through 32. Yeah,
the generosity of God is not only seen in what He provides, it's also seen in what He withholds. Yeah. In other words, I'm going to be an effective parent not only by what I provide for my kids, but what I keep from my kids. And I got that from my Heavenly Father. And so when God forgives us, He provides salvation, He provides forgiveness, but God withholds punishment from us. If I'm forgiven, I'm still a sinner, and sin deserves punishment, but God in His generosity withholds that from me because of who He is. Again, it's a part of His intrinsic glory.
Yeah. Fourth takeaway, God's glory in His incomprehensibility, verses 33 through 36 of emphasis.
Yeah, incomprehensibility, that word unfathomable in most English translations translates a Greek word that's actually a hunting term, and it means untraceable or untrackable. And there are some things that we can understand about God, but there are some things we'll just never know about God. And a lot of people at that point just stop pursuing God because they think if I can't understand everything there is to know about Him, then I'm not going to pursue Him at all. And that's crazy talk. We don't do that in any other realm of our lives. We don't sit in a dark room because we don't understand how a 110 circuit works. We go flip the switch because we know it makes a light come on. We don't sit in a parked car because we don't understand how the combustion engine works, right? We turn the key, we know it'll go. So you don't have to understand everything about an idea or a subject in order to benefit from it.
Absolutely.
All right. So next week, I'm gone.
That's disappointing and celebratory.
All right, what's happening next Sunday?
You're switching pulpits.
Oh, yeah.
With Jared Sparks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pastor Jared Sparks from Christ Church Carbondale is going to be at Harvest next week, and I'm going to be preaching up there. And so come here, Pastor Jared, meet his wife, Jordan, their son, Ransom. Awful cool family. Just incredible family.
Great hair.
He's got great hair.
He's got great
Some
hair.
of the best hair in the pulpit right now. And so they're going to be here. We are a sponsor of their work, and we hope you'll come and hear Pastor Jared next week. And pray for Cheryl and me as we go up to Carbondale. All right. We want everybody to make it a great week.
Yeah, have a great week, guys. See you next week.
See you.